freaking first cut. Golly. What's going on, YouTube? Fireworks all day long at the President's Cup. We'll go through every single match. Look forward to Sunday singles. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll jump into it right now. Welcome to the First Cup Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, Greg DuCharme. And if you are not watching on YouTube, Greg is in a full-on American flag outfit.
Yeah, it's a full hoodie. It's got, the stars up on top, the stripes down below, and we need it right now because, boy, Rick, did you feel the momentum shift or what?
Saturdays are for the internationals. They won 5-3 on Saturday. We'll go through every single match, but boy, you needed this, right? You had to win. You had to win the day. It's going to be 11-7 going to Sunday singles. You are still a mighty underdog, but this is a lot better situation.
Yes, and it was well earned. The Americans, for the most part, put up a really good fight, and it came down to clutch shots on 18. I mean, you think about what happened. I mean, I can't get over the Tom Kim 2-iron that he hit into 18. Oh, I mean, that was just unbelievable. And then he makes the putt, and all four shots that, Horschel, Burns, Davis, and Scott, all four of those shots that they hit into 18 immediately after were just awesome. But I still can't get over the 2-iron that Tom Kim hit in there. It was a big deal, and it changes the scope of this event because not only does it make it somewhat attainable. I know we'll go through singles matches a little bit later on, but it gave you momentum, and it definitely fired you up, and that's the kind of stuff that makes underdogs believe.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we went hot. That 4-point deficit, it's never been overcome in a President's Cup, but twice in a Ryder Cup, Greg. So you can at least, if you're Captain Immelman, you can rally the troops and say, hey, this ain't uncharted territory. This has been done before. We can do it again tomorrow.
Yes, and you got a lot of your young stars, a lot of the players that you weren't necessarily relying on coming in that have stepped up and they've played big. And they, Sebastian Munoz has given you that kind of ceiling performance. Cam Davis has given you that performance that we've seen all through the end of the year. And then you add into it the performance Adam Scott has put on after a tough start to the event. He was awesome today. And that kind of stuff gives you a lot of faith, a lot of hope and momentum heading into tomorrow. We didn't see Mito Pereira this afternoon. He has been playing some really good golf. You got guys that are feeling good, that are showing that they can hang, guys that are playing well. And it gives you, it's an uphill battle, no question about it. And it would be regardless of the score going into Sunday, but it gives you that glimmer of hope that you need.
Let's do it. Round 3, which is Saturday morning foursomes. That was this morning. Very long day of golf. It started very early. Match number 1 was Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas versus Sung Jae Im and Corey Connors. Spieth and JT did their thing. They won it 4-3. Corey Connors has really, really struggled. Spieth and Thomas are a buzzsaw. You're going to run into those guys, and it's not going to be pretty. But Corey Connors has literally not given the internationals even a half a point this week.
No, and he's probably the biggest disappointment for the internationals so far. There's been no energy or momentum coming out of Corey Connors matches. And I can't help but think in this one right off the rip after seeing the performance. I mean, you lose 4-3. Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, as great as they are, they were 1 under par. That's a winnable match.
Yeah.
Based on the performance of Thomas and Spieth. It's not like they went out and shot 5 under and cleaned up and played 14 holes and called it a day. I mean, the international team's 4 over. So that's just really disappointing. And I can't help but think after what we saw in the afternoon, I wish that we saw Munoz in that match. And seeing Munoz and him play together the way they have, I wish we saw Sebastian get a chance in the foursomes play. But Corey Connors is going to have to do what Adam Scott did today, which is, your Captain Immelman's going to give me another chance. Of course, he has to because it's singles. But I can't leave this President's Cup playing like this. And I got to step up for 18 holes. Hopefully it's less on my side, but I got to step up for one round of golf and go win a match. Go put a point on the board. That's what I'm hoping for out of Corey tomorrow.
Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama defeat Cam Young and Colin Morikawa in the second match this morning. You have referred to this already a couple times, Greg. Two guys that the internationals needed to get right, got right this morning.
Yeah, and they played some really good golf. They were 3 under par on the back nine, and they made some really big birdies early to take the momentum in that match. And while they were down early, I believe.
Yes.
They lost the front nine. They were down most of the front nine and turned it on at the turn.
They had a stretch, Greg, where they won 5 in a row, 9 through 13. They won every single one of those. So 5 in a row and a 7-hole stretch in which they won 6 of them. So that was kind of the avalanche of scoring that the two vets put together on a couple of young guys on the American side.
And you could argue that turned the tide for the internationals for the rest of the day, because these are the guys you need. Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama showing the young guys behind them that, hey, we're here. We're here with you guys. We believe too. And that was cool to see.
That was the first full point posted by the internationals in like 30 hours, right? I mean, Siwoo Kim and Cam Davis were the only full point, which came on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday, the internationals got 0 full points. They just got 2 halves. So they went a full day between full victories. And the first one got on the board via Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama.
And you were hoping for this on Thursday. You didn't get it, but you gave him another chance. And we were questioning Captain Immelman yesterday, putting these two out again. We talked about whether or not you could foresee sitting these guys for the morning session today to try to get a little spark. Well, he gave them another chance and they took advantage of it. And they were the ones who gave the spark. So a lot of credit to Captain Immelman for having faith in his 2 stars and giving them the chance to go make it right. And they did. And I love seeing that.
That is why he is the captain, and we are just sitting here talking about him.
Yep, that's right.
another black and gold flag coming via K.H. Lee and Tom Kim, a 2-1 win over Scottie Scheffler and Sam Burns. This is where we really we got the full Tom Kim effect on Saturday. It started Saturday morning. He's rolling in everything. He's giving us the fist pumps. They're going up against the number 1 player in the world and his best bud. They pull it off for a full point.
Yeah, and again, looking at the scores 9 over 9, Scheffler and Burns are 2 under on the front 9. They make the turn with the lead, and right at the turn, just like in the match before with Adam Scott and Hideki Matsuyama, they come out and go birdie eagle at 10 and 11. That's K.H. Lee and Tom Kim. And all of a sudden, the momentum has changed again. And I wonder if that had something to do with what Adam Scott was doing up ahead, just one match ahead, because the timing was imminent. And it changed the complexity of the match. I mean, this team went out and made 4 birdies. They shot 4 under on the back 9. I didn't even have to see the 18th hole with a 2-1 victory. So, I mean, Burns and Scheffler, I don't think they gave it away. I think they got on their heels after the turn, after a birdie eagle. So I think it was a little disappointing for them again, because it's been a disappointing President's Cup for them. They've taken some tough losses, and they shoot 9 under yesterday on Friday, and only end up with a half a point. And then they come out here today with the lead at the turn and squander it on the back 9.
Yeah, Scottie Scheffler 0-2-1. Sam Burns 0-3-1. At least I think, especially this afternoon, Burns played a lot better than I think the scorecard in the final is gonna dictate. But I mean, the shot of the day for Scottie Scheffler was a cold shank off of what was that, 14?
I believe it was 14.
No.
No. It was 10. Right. Shanked it off at 10 and they made bogey. Mm-hmm. They lost to a birdie anyway. I guess conceded birdie, but it was disappointing. And it hasn't been a great President's Cup for him. And maybe that inspires them heading into tomorrow with their weight on their heels right now after this afternoon.
The final match of the morning session went in the favor of the Americans in convincing fashion. It was Tony Finau and Max Homa back at it again, a 4-3 victory over Siwoo Kim and Cam Davis. We talked about it, Greg. Siwoo and Cam Davis got that first and only full point on Thursday. So Captain Trevor gave him another crack here on Saturday morning, but they run into a very, very good Tony Finau, Max Homa squad.
Yeah, a very good squad. When I was, I liked seeing those two together. Homa's been playing such great golf, and he got the rest this afternoon. But this morning he went out there and took care of business. Now, Cam Davis and Siwoo Kim couldn't quite get anything going. It was kind of a slower match. There weren't a lot of birdies going on out there. But all in all, it was a good win for the Americans. And I mean, sitting here now, it was a much needed win, much needed point.
They split the morning session 2-2, which means the Americans led 10-4 going into the afternoon. And Greg, we knew the President's Cup was safe. That was still on ice. The Americans could not close it out in the afternoon. And we knew that splits, you can't split your way to victory unless you are the Americans. You can't do that on the international side. So they know they've got to go out and try to close this gap, and close that gap. They did.
Yes, and it started in the very first match with Siwoo Kim and Tom Kim, and these guys just played great. But again, it's another case of the internationals being down at the turn, and you're looking at they were one down. Cantlay had made 3 birdies. Scheffler had made 1 birdie. Siwoo Kim had made 1 birdie. Tom Kim had made 2 birdies. So it was close. They were both playing some really good golf. And then you see another eagle out of Tom Kim on number 11. He, of course, made that putt in the morning. And then this afternoon makes another eagle and adds 2 birdies to it. And Siwoo Kim adds 2 birdies. Yeah. And the 18th hole was just incredible. This was such a fun match to watch. It was just awesome.
So there was so much going on here. So let's try to go through this. Tom Kim and Siwoo Kim get just I was going to say the two you don't want to see, but I guess that could be Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. But the two you don't want to see, Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. And we saw unbelievable shot making from Siwoo Kim. We saw an 18th hole that, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom Kim hit a 2-iron 239 yards to 10 feet with all the money on the line, all the nuggets, all the glory. Like what a shot to hit in that moment.
Yeah, that was incredible. It's the shot of the tournament so far for me. I mean, I know he made an eagle on 11 twice, and those were big putts and big moments too. But this one was just so flush. And you could hear the announcers talking about how far back he was of Cantlay. And I mean, he was 30 yards behind Schauffele and more so behind Cantlay. His partner, Siwoo Kim, is over in the trees and completely stymied. He had a great shot, by the way, as well, which was a sweet view on camera. But if you're Tom Kim sitting in that situation, you've got the ball and it's all on your shoulders. And you got to make a birdie. You have to make a birdie and hope, because a half a point doesn't do any good. And if you lose that match, the whole thing's over. So and you got a 2-iron in your hand, and he just flushed it, and it came out dead straight, just left of the flag, uses that little slope in the back left corner of the green. And then he seals the deal.
Well, that's the thing. He does seal the deal, because Xander flies the green, pitches it to 13 feet, and then makes the putt for birdie. So that putt that Tom
for par.
Excuse me, for par. So that putt that Tom Kim made was for the full point, to ensure that it wasn't just going to be a split match. Tom Kim hits the shot, and then with everything on the line, knowing that Xander's already in, makes the putt.
Yes, and his partner Siwoo, who hit that great shot, it ends up going through the green, leaves it short of the green. He ends up picking up, so he's not in for 4. And you don't have that ability, where I'm freed up. I have this opportunity, and the next one's good, because Xander's in for par. Cantlay misses his birdie putt. and now it's all on your shoulders, but you do have to two putt at least. And so I think that actually helps him with the read. The putting when the next one's good, I think confuses people sometimes. They put a little, it alters the read because you think you can be more aggressive with the speed. You got to adjust your read, but you're not used to putting like that. You're not used to reading greens like that. And it often leads to a miss. So the fact that he had to just hit a perfect putt, I think helps him zone in and focus, even though, he had shown that he was zoned in and focused all day. But it was especially evident here. And Rick, I don't know how you felt about this, but I love the quote at the end.
Yes.
I wanted that more than anything in the world.
Yeah, which it shows he was awesome. He was awesome all day. He was in the last match to finish in the morning, and he was first out in the afternoon. It was a very quick turnaround for him, which might have been good because he just kept it rolling, Greg. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Zinger was throwing on the accolades of he's going to be the number one player in the world someday, which I certainly don't want to argue with, but I'm just happy to live in this moment where he's having a great President's Cup. He's incredibly likable. He's hitting great shots when his team needs him the most. It is so much fun. This was a Saturday for Tom Kim that will just like hold a special place in my heart.
Yes. And I don't know about you, but I think it should change the logo of the international team, and they got to put a Thomas the Tank Engine on their uniforms going forward, because this guy's going to be around for a long time. He's going to be a factor on this international President's Cup team, and a Saturday like this reminds you of how special these moments are. So I think it was big in a lot of ways for more than just the International President's Cup team, for more than just Tom Kim. I think it is the kind of thing that reminds us why we play the PGA Tour, why these events are so special, why this is such an important goal. And we see Tom Kim do something like this. He's not the first, and he won't be the last, but it's inspiring to everybody who has a chance to play on these team events. It's like the Max Homa quote. This is one of those things that money can't buy. And it's just, it's so special. And that feeling was really highlighted this afternoon.
Second match out this afternoon. Hideki Matsuyama, Taylor Pendrith lose 4-3, 2. Yeah, no surprise. Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. That duo goes 4-0-0. They lead the Americans in terms of top point scorers. Hideki and Pendrith. Jacob has this noted here, like watching those guys have to putt in the same group is like just terrifying. The strokes that they put on goals.
Yeah. Now Pendrith made some big putts yesterday on Friday. I like what I've seen from him, but I understand what you're saying here. This one was a little different. I thought Thomas and Spieth in particular played a lot better this afternoon.
Spieth magic. He chips in late. I mean, it's so good. Don't avert your eyes from the outline. Avert your eyes from the outline here. So they have.
I'm not looking.
Okay. They are 8-2 together at President's Cups and Ryder Cups. Can you name at either or both of their two losses?
Well, one of them was, I remember they lost in Paris to Molinari and Fleetwood.
Yep. That's one. Good job.
Buzzsaw.
Those guys went 5-0, right?
They went 5. Well, no, Molinari went 5-0. Yeah. 4-1 for Fleetwood. So he lost his singles match. And then the other, I think it was it Rahman Garcia?
Yeah, it was last year. Very good, Greg. Good.
All right.
Gold
I like that. I mean, those are legendary buzzsaws, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's the joke, right? They're 8-2, and the two are against like the only two other most formidable teams that these international squads have put together recently.
Yeah. And if you're ever questioning the move, taking any individual captain out of it, if you're ever questioning the move of Jordan Spieth moving away from Patrick Reed and going to Justin Thomas, I think the reasons have been validated, because it's been, they're incredible together. They have fun. They're loose. They figure out a way to win. They don't have to play well to win, even though Spieth did play very well. And the chip in on 15. What's with 15 and Jordan Spieth? He can't get away from the creek.
It's a magnet. It's a magnet for his ball.
My goodness. I mean, he he misses the green left yesterday. It bounces out of the creek. He hits it in the tee shot in the first. It's incredible to me. He ends up chipping in this afternoon, which was really fun and all. But I mean, Thomas stuffed it in there anyway.
He is the golf version of that play where Kyler Murray just like ran around for 75 seconds and then finally like threw it into the end. Like it's just that all the time for Jordan
Yeah,
Spieth. It's
it is.
absolutely nuts.
He's got an open and he turns around, he runs back, he's 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden there's an open. It's incredible watching this guy play. But he did make 6 birdies today in that match, and really helped out. I know Thomas isn't putting every single time. His birdie count officially was only 1. But they turned a 3 up and were able to seal the deal there at 15.
Sung Jae Im, Sebastian Munoz defeat Tony Finau and Kevin Kisner 3-2. We'll start with the international side. Hat tip to Sebastian Munoz. He's been great this week.
Yeah, one of the low-key heroes of this event so far, regardless of outcome. He's made 11 birdies so far. He hasn't played in foursomes at all. Again, I think I would have loved to see him in foursomes this morning, but seeing what he's done in the better ball format has been really impressive, really special. And I think that's going to go a long way for him in his career. You know, next time he goes out and shoots that 61, I think he'll remember these moments. And I think you're going to see him contend. There are so many players on this international team and the American team that I can see this event having a huge effect on next year. And it varies level to level. Some guys I expect to see it in majors. Some guys I expect to see it in a different event. But I think you're going to see a different Sebastian Munoz who believes when he shoots 61 in the first round, or, you know, all those sub 64 rounds that he shoots. I think he can hang on a little bit better after this week. He's been awesome.
Think back to 2019. There were guys that took like tangible steps forward for that international team after that event. I mean, we probably rattle them off. Cam Smith, Sung Jae Im, Joaquin Niemann, Abe Ancer, all like took a step forward. And sometimes when they were asked about it, they would reference moments at the President's Cup. Munoz might be a candidate, and it's all relative, right? You know, it's all relative. But Munoz could be a candidate to kind of use this experience and take it with him on the, moving forward.
Yeah, you think about what Jordan Spieth says before this event even started. This reminds you of a major championship when you play in these events. And there's so much finality in these matches on every hole. So you don't get all right, we can come back. You need, everything's like a must make. Everything's I have to hit this shot. I have to hit it now. And that starts on the first hole on Thursday. And that is an immense amount of pressure, as you've heard Paul Azinger say all week long. But it builds and builds and builds, and you're constantly tested whether or not you can handle it. And when you get into big time championship golf on the PGA Tour, that's what you face. And this proves to these guys that they can do it. So I definitely think Munoz is a candidate. And so Sung Jae Im, I guess it already happened for him, but I think he's been awesome too, as expected.
The other side of this, Finau and Kisner. I don't necessarily want to drag Kisner here, but let's just say they did not use his score very often.
No, what, like 4 holes? It was like 4 holes or something. He did make an eagle, but that's it. He made 1 eagle. I don't think he made any birdies.
1 eagle. They used his par a couple of times. He made no birdies.
No birdies. Yeah, it's a little disappointing. And if Finau made 3 birdies, he played all right. They just kind of got, again, they didn't get a lot going. Just something we've seen out of some of the Corey Connors international pairings. We definitely saw that out of Kisner Finau this afternoon.
Kisner got Quail hollowed, man. This was never going to be a great setup for him, right?
No, I mean, he's played well twice here.
Yeah, he's got 2 good ones and a couple of bad ones, and
yeah. But this is different than the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, right? And Par's pars aren't great scores. That attitude, and maybe Corey Connors is running into this too, but this is a momentum game. And you got to make a lot of birdies. And it doesn't matter if it's a 520-yard par 4 where in a major par would be good. And this is one of the most difficult holes for the week. It doesn't matter because what's that guy next to me going to do? And if he's going to go and hit a 2-iron to 10 feet, I have to do the same thing. And it doesn't matter if you make a double bogey. It matters if you can make a birdie or not. And I wonder if that hurts Kevin Kisner on a golf course like this.
Final match of the afternoon. Adam Scott and Cam Davis versus Billy Horschel and Sam Burns. This match, Greg, was in favor of the Americans when they stepped on the 16th tee. The Internationals won 16. They won 17, and they made birdie on 18 to ensure a 1-up victory. It was an absolute critical point. It completed a 3-1 afternoon session and a 5-3 winning day, and lost in all of the Tom Kim hoopla was Cam Davis just playing like a star and freewheeling it the final handful of holes in this match.
Yeah, he finished his eagle birdie. Makes a nice curler at 16. Adam Scott had a beautiful shot into 17. Never had to putt it.
The combined proximity for those 4 approaches on 18 was like 23 feet or something.
Yeah. And 17, they're stuffing it in there too. It was really impressive. And so going through some of the birdie counts, I think this is interesting. Adam Scott made 6 birdies. Sam Burns made 6 birdies. Horschel made 2 birdies. Cam Davis made 3 birdies and an eagle. But that Adam Scott 6 birdie count, he never hit a putt on 17. He never hit a putt on 18. I think he was very likely to make both of those. You're talking about a guy that's really in control of his golf ball all day today. Swinging in rhythm, hitting it long. The second shot he hit into 16, he hit a beautiful eagle putt there too. But that shot was so good. Such a tough shot, and he pulled it off. So big step up for Adam Scott today. Cam Davis kind of got worked in the morning, but answered the bell this afternoon. That was so impressive.
Okay, we're going to hang tight for the singles matchups. I have some stats. I have some quotes that we can go over before we get those. The international team looks like they're doing their presser right now. So when that's complete, I think we'll get the Sunday matches, but I'll get the ad break out of the way here first. So, wait for the good stuff and some more stuff on the other side. We're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. Okay. I got some quotes and I got some stats for you, Greg. So we are 11-7 going into singles, 12 matches. Can't hide anybody. Everybody's going out. Justin Ray says, since 2007, the international side has actually outscored the Americans in singles at the President's Cup 43-41. Is that interesting?
Yes, it is interesting. Now, look, that's a really close. You're talking about 84 matches. And they're basically dead even. The internationals before 2019 would have had a 4 match advantage, and now it's down to 2. So looking at these President's Cups and the way they've gone so far, I am surprised and not surprised, because you wonder how much they need, how much the Americans really need heading into Sunday. But they're just so loaded right now. When you look at this is the session where I thought the Americans' strength would really, really show. And everywhere you turn, you got a really tough match, and somebody's going to have to go out and perform above their abilities, above and beyond. If you're the internationals, if the Americans just kind of play to baseline, they're going to handle this. They need 4.5 points. That's it. Think about what you could do. They haven't done it yet, but think about what you could do. You put out Thomas and Spieth and Cantlay and Schauffele, and then you have world number 1. You have Sam Burns, who made 6 birdies today. He was part of a 9-under best ball with Scottie Scheffler yesterday. Somebody's got to go beat him. Then you have, I mean, Kisner, I know he hasn't played great so far this week, but one of the best match play players going. Billy Horschel, another one of the best match play players going. And we haven't even gotten to a Cam Young and a Max Homa who hasn't lost yet. I mean, you just start to name these names. Colin Morikawa, haven't mentioned him yet. You start to name these names, and you wonder how can we where, like, they got to get 4.5 points. They only got to get 4.5 points out of this. They could come in the first 5 matches.
If they could. Remember last night when we sat here and we said, okay, if you want to win $100 on the United States, you have to lay $10,000 to do that. Remember that?
Yep, I remember.
Tonight it's only 8,000. So the internationals have closed. They've closed the gap.
But it's still $8,000 to win $100.
Correct.
I mean, I'm in the same place. How do you where does the money flow on this? It's hard to find a pathway here.
We've spent a lot of the week talking about who's going to be the top point scorer, who's going to be the top rookie, top international, top debutant, all that fun stuff. So let me give you a little update here, Greg. On the United States side, Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas are in the wheelhouse to be top U.S. player. They're both sitting at 4 points, and they're obviously both going to play singles. Max Homa is at 3 points. Those are the only 3 guys that, I guess in theory, could be top U.S. player. Because everybody else has 2 points or less. So it's Spieth, who I think to open the week was 16-1. I believe JT was 7-1, and I believe Homa was 9-1 before the week started to be top. Oh crap! I might be confusing my top US with my top point score.
Yeah, it's interesting. But those 3 guys, what's really interesting about them is Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas have never won a singles match in the President's Cup. Jordan Spieth hasn't won a singles match in the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup, which is just unbelievable to me. I don't know who he's going to play tomorrow. Justin Thomas has a tendency of being first out. You know that he's going to be in an important match. So they often face really strong opponents in really big matches, and their job is to kind of go, give the heavy hitters, on whether it's the Europeans or the internationals, give their heavy hitters a run for their money and something to fear. So Max Homa's sitting in a fine spot. I guess it'd end up being a tie if he won and the other 2 lost.
Okay, so I was pretty close. The one I screwed up was Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is 16-1 to be top point scorer. He's 10-1 along with Max Homa to be top U.S. scorer. Justin Thomas was indeed 7-1. So I was correct there. Yeah. So Homa, if everything goes right for Homa, you'd split that 3 ways. He would be
right.
3.33-1 is what the payout would be if he wins his Sunday match and both JT and Jordan Spieth lose it and they all finish at 4 points.
Yeah, you got a little bit of life. You're disappointed if you were on the Cantlay Schauffele train. And I probably would have been there. I didn't make an official statement, but I don't know. I mean, looking at the way the momentum shifted, I wonder if, and we said this last night, I think it was a mistake not to play Cantlay Schauffele this morning. I know you split the session 2-2 and you feel all right about that, but you have enough to give, but rest them this afternoon. Take care of business in the morning. Rest them this afternoon if they need rest. You got to play them in foursomes. I was really surprised about that. And of course, if you're holding one of their tickets, that really hurts.
The international side is wide open. With 2 points is Tom Kim, Siwoo Kim, Adam Scott, Cam Davis. With 1.5, Sung Jae Im, Sebastian Munoz. With 1, K.H. Lee, Hideki, Matsuyama. They are all technically still live in some way to be top international point scorer. The 2 Kims, Tom and Siwoo, along with Adam Scott and Cam Davis, are certainly in the front running spot for this. So Adam Scott was 7-1. My bet was Tom Kim, 7.5-1. So hopefully that can come through. Siwoo was 10-1. Cam Davis was 12-1 before the week started.
And all 4 of those guys are at 2?
All 4 of those guys are at 2.
Right. Yeah, that makes it really interesting. And you're definitely hoping for a big split if you're an international fan. maybe a parlay on one of those guys in the internationals to win the whole thing. You need you need those guys to all win and split because they've been playing such great golf. But it's interesting to see a Munoz in there in the run-in.
Yes, he had the second longest odds. Only K.H. Lee was longer.
Yeah.
K.H. Lee was 15-1. Munoz was 13-1. Munoz will need a pretty exact thing to happen. Him winning, Kim and Siwoo and Scott and Davis losing, and then Sung Jae only getting a half a point for Seb to get the whole thing, the whole joint. But there are obviously pathways to like the international top international probably gets split in some way just with how bunched up it is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You got to figure two of those. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I was going to say, but you got to figure two of those guys are going to win a match tomorrow. I like the way they've played, but you always have to remember who they're going to be facing off against on the other side. So nobody's going to get an easy match. Was he longer than Christian Munoz?
Yeah, 10-1.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yeah, Bez was shorter than Davis, Pendrith, Mito, and Munoz, and Kate.
Yeah, and he only played twice. He's going to play 2 matches.
Yeah,
so that's very interesting. And the hardest thing about this in previewing it and predicting it is with these longer odd guys, who's going to get the matches. Adam Scott makes sense. Cam Davis, you could argue, makes sense. You figure if it goes well for him early, he's gonna be on the field. But with the Munoz, you don't know what kind of action he's gonna get. And we saw it. He played great yesterday, and he ends up with only 2 matches heading into singles. A 3-point ceiling for Munoz. So yeah, very interesting. But I mean Tom Kim, because of the energy, is the star of the international team. But Sebastian Munoz is I'm really impressed with him because I wasn't sure that we'd get that for 2 rounds. 11 birdies in 2 matches is really good playing.
Top United States rookie, I believe. Let me just double check my work here. That is locked up. Max Homa has locked it up. So he is at 3 points. Scottie Scheffler cannot catch him. Colin Morikawa cannot catch him. Cam Young cannot catch him. And Billy Horschel cannot catch him. So Max Homa, heading into Sunday singles, has locked up top U.S. rookie. He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, just kudos to him. And nice to get the afternoon off. He's going to be probably in a pretty important match heading into tomorrow. Because he may be that guy you say is ahead of Scheffler in the importance. If we're going to front load, are you going to put Scheffler ahead of Homa? I don't know. Homa's been one of your best players. And he's executed well, not just in the results. He's obviously 3-0, but the clutch putting that he's displayed, the ball striking control he's displayed, it's all been fantastic. So I would look for Max Homa to be pretty highly rated on this U.S. side, and probably in one of those early matches.
Top international rookie will likely be either Tom Kim or Cam Davis. Remember, this is not Siwoo's first President's Cup, so he is not involved there. So those two...
And Munoz is in the mix for that too, right?
He is. So 2 points for Tom Kim and Cam Davis. Tom Kim was plus 380. Cam Davis was plus 600. Munoz is only a half a point back. He was 7.5-1, the longest odds you could get on an international rookie. And then technically K.H. Lee could get a split, but that would be unlikely. So Tom Kim, Cam Davis, and Seb Munoz, your likely international rookies.
Yeah. You're hoping for a split. If you're an international fan, you're hoping for a split there, that they all win and Munoz finishes half a point back and Davis and Kim win, and that could happen. But I mean, those guys you got to figure are going to be out early as well. It's going to be interesting to see.
I'm hoping, and I believe we are moments away from getting the Sunday singles matchups, but these pressers have had a general theme, both for the internationals and for the United States, Greg. It's been Tom Kim. The internationals were asked about Tom Kim. Tom Kim was asked about Tom Kim. The Americans were asked about Tom Kim. Jordan Spieth said he, quote, would like to see Billy Horschel against Tom Kim. He thinks that would be fun. End quote. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of energy in one group.
Yeah, a lot of energy in one group. But the question is, if you're Captain Immelman, where do you put Tom Kim? Is he your top dog? I mean, is he your top guy? Do you put him out in the first match? I don't think Horschel will go first.
He's your emotional top guy.
Yeah. And that has a tendency, I mean, with Justin Thomas going out first as often as he has for the US, Patrick Reed would get the first match against Rory. He did in that Ryder Cup many years ago. It's typically an emotional leader ends up in the first match. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Tom Kim. Who picks first? Do you know who picks first?
I've asked that question to myself every night. Jacob thinks it's international.
Yeah. If that's right, I think the first guy out is Tom Kim. And he probably gets Justin Thomas.
I was going to say, then we're going to get Justin Thomas and Tom Kim, which would be also pretty electric.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe even more so than Horschel. I mean, Horschel provides a lot of energy. Sometimes there's some negative energy.
True.
The other thing about the Horschel Tom Kim match is we all love Tom Kim, so nobody comes down hard on him. But the pre-shot routines would be an all-time pre-shot routine duel between those two.
All right, here we go. So picks are coming through. Jacob, do you want me to turn my volume on, or do you just want to tell us who gets sent out here? Okay, I'm going to turn my volume on. Hopefully we don't get a knock for this, Greg.
All right, let's see.
Let's see. We have a huddle on the international side.
I can't really hear it.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because I don't have a way to. I'll just. Yeah. Here we go. Captain Trevor. Siwoo Kim.
Siwoo Kim first.
Siwoo Kim.
Wow. So he'll still likely get Justin Thomas.
He did. Justin Thomas is so Siwoo Kim and Justin. What's the strategy here, Greg?
I don't quite know. Siwoo's played well. I don't know. I mean, are you trying to find? Is that a sacrificial lamb in a way? It's not. Kind of half baked, but
like a ceiling. Like Siwoo's got ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah, he could beat Justin Thomas. It's an 18-hole match. It's just, I don't know. I'm surprised.
We're getting a long deliberation here from the United States for who they're going to send out in match number 2. A very long deliberation. A lot of shrugging, a lot of back and forth.
You got to go with one of your heavy hitters.
It's got to be like Cantlay.
Yeah, hammer them with your top guys. Give him Cantlay next.
Oh man, this is like, I might have been a little behind, but they're still.
I just heard him say Justin Thomas.
All right, it's Jordan Spieth out for the Americans.
Yeah, okay, that's a good move. Got to be right.
Trevor's wearing a new hat. I've not seen him.
Cam Davis
this week. Cam Davis. Wow.
Okay.
What are we building here? What are we building here?
Well, Cam's been playing some really good golf too. Now, these aren't your highest energy guys. So, they start to steal a little bit of momentum here, and then you start to follow with your Adam Scott and Kim, and you're hoping to turn these tides a little late. Yeah, if Siwoo and Cam Davis can come out and get off to some better starts, they're capable of winning these matches. Then perhaps you feel like your strongest players are still yet to come.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, Siwoo and Cam Davis are leading, two of the leaders of points for the international. They've gotten 2 points. They've played well this week. So maybe you're just saying, okay, I'm just going to put my best guys out there in some order.
Yeah, I find it a little interesting. But I get the Cam Davis. That's in line with Tom Kim to me. Okay. Where it's a star. But
here we go. Match 21. So this is the third match out. Sam Burns, Hideki Matsuyama.
Okay. Wow, interesting match. Two guys that have probably played better this week than their record shows. I get Hideki going out there third. I get Sam Burns. Sam Burns has played really well. His record doesn't show it.
Yeah, his record's going to be poor, but he's played better than that.
So I like it. It's a tough point for the internationals to get. It's a good move by Captain Love.
All right, so we got 3 matches out. JT and Siwoo Kim out first. Jordan Spieth, Cam Davis, Sam Burns, and Hideki Matsuyama as the third match. So we're watching these matches roll in here. I wonder how much strategy goes into like who, not just the order, but if you say Jordan Spieth, I'm going to do this. If you say Justin Thomas, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Do you have a big board up there, or are you looking at it kind of like a Ryder Cup situation? And that could really play into it. I don't want to put Tom Kim out there against Justin Thomas. I need a Tom Kim point. Siwoo's kind of unsung. Maybe he can create that. So that it is a very interesting kind of strategy.
Patrick Cantlay versus Adam Scott. That's the next one. So the U.S. is going with JT, Spieth, Burns, Cantlay. That's match 4 against Adam Scott. So the internationals are, they're putting out their point scores first, and the U.S. is obviously got an embarrassment of riches here.
You think Patrick Cantlay's been the best player for the U.S. team this week?
I
know his record isn't there.
It's been close. He's been really good.
He's been really good. Probably, I would give him an edge over Schauffele.
Is any international a favorite yet? These 4 matches that we've seen
not
Hideki over. No, I tried.
No,
Hideki over Sam Burns is the closest.
Yeah, that'll be the closest. But I'll tell you, Adam Scott played the best golf of anybody today.
Do you know why?
Why?
He got to wear beige all day.
Yes.
At like 5:55 a.m., Greg's like, Adam Scott's wearing beige. No way they could sit him. Like, that was like the first thing I got this morning. Like, I woke up, I was like, beige Adam Scott.
I wasn't sure if they were going to do an outfit change midway through. I couldn't remember if they did that, or I know that would be crazy, but you never know with these kind of things. You want to identify a uniform with the mat. I don't know. But Adam Scott got to wear beige all day, and boy, did it work.
Of course it did. Very long deliberation here for match 5. Here we go. Oh, Scott Scheffler, the number 1 player in the world, gets Sebastian Munoz. Here, Captain Immelman says, if you played well this week, you've earned being front loaded. So he's running out Munoz against the number 1 golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler.
I like it. I really like it. Again, Munoz has played. He's played better than Scottie Scheffler. Flat out played better than him. And he's not going to be favored and shouldn't be, but he can win that match. And now if Adam Scott can play the way he's played and get a little takedown here, you could see some black on this board early. I don't feel like these are the Americans are going to have this one in the first 5 matches. I don't think that's the case right now. So now we're going to get into some depth, but that's a good play by Captain Immelman.
I'm happy that Trevor did not throw out Corey Connors yet, right? Like, reward your guys for playing well. You can convince yourself that you have Connors in the back. I'm happy with the way that he has done this so far.
Yes. Now, what's he going to do late? Is Tom Kim going to be in the last match? That's like it's a hard strategy,
and it might not matter.
I know but it might mean everything. And that's the difficulty of a captain in this situation. A complete front load. I don't think you order my top 12 players and go and order 1 through 12. But you need a just in case guy on the back end. Maybe that's like a Mito Pereira. But it'll. I'm very curious to see.
I think it would be malpractice to lose like 18 to 12 and have Tom Kim's match not matter on Sunday. I think that would be malpractice.
Yeah, because what could it have been the spark you needed? Right. You'll always wonder that. Maybe a Siwoo Kim could have been that anchor match, but We'll see. Maybe do you think Tom Kim's next?
No, he's not.
No.
Taylor Pendrith is next. Taylor Pendrith has a goose egg, although he's played good enough to not have a 0 next to his name. But Taylor Pendrith is going out against Tony Finau. Bombs away.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun match to watch. A really fun match to watch. Look, Finau's playing great. I like what I've seen out of Pendrith, but this is going to be, that would be a surprising win for the internationals if he pulled that off.
Yeah, Finau's been great. Finau's been great.
And quiet, unsung, but just great.
Man, we got to see Tom Kim soon here. Right.
Yeah, so we're what? Six matches in.
3, 4, 5. We're 6 in. The US could be done, or excuse me, the internationals could be done in these 6 matches.
Yeah. And Tom Kim's not on the board yet. Again, you have to win. You got to play to win. So you're hoping and you believe that this match will count, and you need something late. Because you get into a situation where this works out the way you want, and the matches later and later as they go, they get more and more important for the international side. So I understand it. It's just, he's your emotional leader. I'm surprised it's him.
Here we go. Match 7, Corey Connors versus Xander Schauffele.
Ooh. Well, look, Corey, you can make this right. You go win that match. You turn the you could turn the perspective for the internationals, and your President's Cup can change in one match. You got to go get that win.
True. And you were kind of alluding to this. These matches like 5 through 8 are going to be critical because they're not, you can't. I don't think you can wait till the end to put your best players because you might be done by then, but you might not necessarily want to run into the buzzsaw of JT out of the gate. Like 5 through 8 are so critical, in my opinion.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they all are, but sure. it's this. But you draw Xander Schauffele. My goodness. But we still haven't seen Tom Kim. Obviously, we've been talking about that. We still haven't seen Sungjae Im. So those are still the 2 heavy hitters. Mito's played fine, but Sungjae Im and Tom Kim still on the board for the internationals. Very curious to see where they go.
Yeah, the United States, we haven't seen Colin Morikawa. We have not seen Max Homa to this point. So we'll see where those guys start. We've got 7 in. We're waiting on match number 8 here.
I think Homa's going to be the anchor match.
That'd be cool.
Unless they just announced it and he's in the next one. Then I take that back. But I think he's going to be the anchor.
I do not see the 8th match yet, so we'll see. I mean, there is definitely a being first or being last is an honor as well, is it not?
Yes, absolutely an honor. And now when the score is as lopsided as it is, and you go last for the U.S., you're hoping it doesn't matter. You want an opportunity to get that winning point, and you're in all likelihood past that point. When you get to the last match, you better be.
Here we go. Sungjae Im has made an appearance. Sungjae Im is going to get Cam Young in match number 8-ish, I believe.
Yeah, that is match 8. Here we go. I love the term you use, embarrassment of riches. It's like, I love what Sungjae's done, and he could go win that match. He draws a rookie for the U.S. side, and if this is going in the international's favor, you don't know how Cam Young is going to respond, but he has responded really well all season and all President's Cup, and he can hit some shots that really wow you. But the good thing is Sungjae Im is a robot, and I don't think he's going to be affected by a 350 poke off of number 1 by Cam Young.
4 to go. We're waiting on Tom Kim. We're waiting on Max Homa. We're waiting on this is okay. So if he's going Sungjae now, he's got to go Tom Kim in match 9, because then that leaves you with Bezadenhout,
Pereira,
and K.H. Lee.
Yeah, but who's going to be your
Mito?
Is K.H. Lee your anchor? Mito your anchor?
Yeah, I like that. I like that when you said that.
Yeah, I could see Mito going in that slot.
you
I think
imagine
Tom Kim's going to be the anchor, though. I do.
What kind of tee shot will Mito hit on 18 if his match is still if his match still matters?
Wow. I think he'll step up and hit a good one.
I hope so.
Yeah. Look, he's a great driver of the ball, a really good ball striker, and that was an extremely disappointing situation for him. And he made a bad swing at the worst time, and it looked bad, and it drew. You know how much attention that drew? That tee shot he hit. I mean, Justin Thomas won the PGA, and on Sirius XM for like 3 days we talked about Mito, whether he should have hit
driver.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's all
but Justin Thomas won.
It's crazy. We've got 3 to go here. Right? 10, 11, 12. Have we gotten that? This is like slow to a. I thought these guys were on the clock.
4 okay, so that was 8.
I thought there was a shot clock here. This is taking. They are grinding. I mean, I know they should be grinding, but I thought there was a shot clock.
Yeah, and now you'd think you'd have like a plan going into it, right?
Yeah,
like every situation kind of laid out. Well, we want to get this guy against this guy. We kind of want to have an order like this. I think Tom Kim's your anchor. I think it's Tom Kim, Max Homa as your anchor match.
At this point, I'm starting to agree with you. I don't think I agree with the strategy, but I think it's I think it's likely that it happens.
I don't agree with the strategy.
No, neither do I.
Unless they win. Then
I love it.
But this is the thing for Captain Immelman. You have to make difficult decisions. For Captain Love, you have to play chalk. Right? If you don't play chalk, you've made a mistake if you lose. You have this embarrassment of riches, your term again. You have to use that in the most optimal way. If you're Captain Immelman, you got to take risks and chances and spice it up everywhere. So it's out of the box, but you need something out of the box to win.
Match 9, K.H. Lee versus Billy Horschel.
Okay. That'll be a good match. Again, hoping it means something. But K.H. Lee can take him down.
That for sure. That's a very winnable match for the internationals.
Yeah.
Very winnable. And then whoever gets Kisner's a winnable match as well.
Right. Who we haven't seen yet.
We don't know yet. But it's either going to be Mito, Tom Kim, or Sebastian Munoz.
God. But these guys, Kisner and Horschel, just love match play. I mean, K.H. Lee has never played a match play event before this. You know, nothing, no President's Cups, no match play, nothing. Billy Horschel and Kevin Kisner, these guys are match play buzzsaws. Does the golf course have something to do with it? This is kind of an opportunity to find out. Maybe it does. But these guys they're not going to hand anything away in singles.
3 to go. At this point, I think Tom Kim is going to be your anchor. I think it could be Tom Kim and Max Homa. That'd be really fun. And if it was for all the marbles, my heart would be a flutter.
Oh, if the last match matters, your heart's going to be a flutter because there is going to have been some craziness that has happened throughout the day. Craziness. It should not be. This should not go that late.
Well, here it is. Match 10, Tom Kim versus Max Homa. That might be your de facto anchor match then.
Okay. All right. So it's not the 12th match, but it's right there. Great match.
So match 10, which to get to that point, to get to that matter. So the first 9, the internationals have to make sure that the U.S. doesn't get 4.5 points. So 4.5 gets it done in the first 9 matches. So you are kind of saying, I've got to win. I've got to be ahead in the first 9 to make sure Tom Kim matters.
Yep.
Which actually is strategic in a way that says, if we split up to this match, Tom Kim, but also at the same time,
No, if you split up to this match, you lost.
Yeah,
you got to be winning.
Yeah, you got to be winning. You got to win up to that point.
You need strength late. I understand that, but I think you need energy early, and that's when these late matches really matter. So yeah, it's an interesting move, but I understand that you need strength late. I'm not sure Tom Kim was the late guy in my book.
So we are waiting on Mito and Bezuidenhout.
Yep.
Versus Kisner and Morikawa.
Right. Some combination of those.
Some combination of those four.
Yeah. Are you surprised Morikawa is this late?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess unless you're going to put him in the anchor, I don't know. I think that I think I would have played him sooner.
Yeah. If Sam Burns was still hanging around here, if Cam Young was still hanging around here, I don't know if I'd be as surprised. Morikawa seems like one of those. Wow, we got to go against Colin Morikawa. I think actually Scottie Scheffler would have been a great candidate for a late match.
Yeah,
on the U.S. side,
I agree. You haven't played particularly well, but you're still the guy. You're still the number one player in the world. And if it comes down to this, I trust you. Go get it. Go do your thing. I agree. Love that call.
Yeah, but I'm not leaning on you.
Right. I don't need you, but I got you in my back pocket.
Yeah, you're going to be my safety net. How would you like to have world number one as your safety net?
Exactly. I love that. That's
cool. So that probably would have been my switch so far. And I'm not trying to come down on these guys, these captains. It's just
here we go. Last two: Mito Pereira versus Colin Morikawa, Christian Bezuidenhout versus Kevin Kisner. So Bez and Kisner in the anchor match. No offense to these guys, but that's a match that is unlikely to matter. The U.S. and the international team probably put out their weakest guys: Mito and Morikawa in match 11.
Yes, Mito Morikawa will be a good one. Bez and Kisner, I bet you whatever the order of selection was there, they were kind of waiting for that match. Because these are when you look at the 11-man, the other 11 guys on both teams, these two guys are, well, which one of these doesn't look like the other? They stand out because they're shorter. They don't hit the ball as well. They lean on their putting more than anything. So that'll be a fun match.
Yeah, so the only things that, thank you, Jacob. There you go. Wow, Justin Thomas versus Siwoo Kim, Jordan Spieth versus Cam Davis, Sam Burns versus Hideki Matsuyama, Patrick Cantlay versus Adam Scott. Then we get Scottie Scheffler versus Sebastian Munoz, Tony Finau versus Pendrith, Schauffele versus Connors. We rounded out with Cam Young versus Sungjae, Billy Horschel versus K.H. Lee, Max Homa versus Tom Kim, Colin Morikawa versus Mito Pereira, and Kevin Kisner versus Christian Bezuidenhout. Greg, I like your idea of scooting Scheffler back a little bit, and I think that I would have probably used Tom Kim earlier because he is right on the cusp of not mattering.
Yeah, you're right. And again, just one more thing on the Scottie Scheffler thing. If he loses, even though he hasn't been playing well, and on your side, on the American side, you might say, well, it wasn't Scottie's week. But for the internationals, they're saying, we just took down world number one. Let's go.
That's going to be a rally. Yeah, so match 5, if Seb Munoz, who's been playing great, down Scottie Scheffler and makes it, who knows, maybe that's to go up. Maybe it's 3-2 internationals through 5 matches. That is going to feel like, or they're going to at least act like if they just took down Goliath.
Right. And they should. You got Sebastian Munoz just took down world number one, Scottie Scheffler. You're going to use that energy. It's bulletin board material. So I think Scheffler would have been a great, a 10, 11, 12 guy.
All right, we'll get out of here. But real quick, outside of Homa and Tom Kim, which other of these matches are you most looking forward to?
Cantlay Adam Scott is probably my favorite match. Or the one that I think has some potential to be the best match. But those first 3 matches are so important on the international side and the U.S. side. because you can really kind of seal the deal if you're the U.S. and you keep you give the guys behind you some real energy if you can step it up on the international side and take down a Thomas and take down a Spieth. Big momentum opportunities in the first. Well, I'll say the first 2 matches. So I'll say 1, 2, and 4 are the big matches for me.
Match 2, I like Cam Davis and Jordan Spieth. You're probably going to see some stuff you've never seen before. Jordan Spieth has not been good in singles, and Cam Davis played like a man with his hair on fire to close out Saturday. And we have seen him. Cam Davis is just so ceiling upside talented. Like that could be pretty fun.
And he has a demeanor about him that's cool. Even his celebrations are
he's cool.
Smooth.
He's like a Bond villain.
Right. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And I think Adam Scott could be Bond.
Yes, correct. The real quick, we've been going for an hour and 5 minutes. We'll get out of here. But Cam Davis is shot into 18. The millisecond it left his club face, not even. He goes, "Be right." I'm like, "Let's go, kid.
Yeah,
let's go."
Awesome. Just awesome. So sick. He's been playing great. I'm looking forward to this. I'm much more energized now than I was on Friday, obviously, for obvious reasons. So the matches start to look a lot closer than early in the week than we thought. So I'm really excited about tomorrow.
Matches are set. We will be back Sunday evening with the results. We'll see how it all goes. But we've got 12 singles matches on Sunday. We're working hard. We're working overtime this week. Big thanks to producer Jacob. Does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme, available on Twitter at @TheRealGFD. And you can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.